In 2021, Oates found that out of all academic librarians in the United States, only 5.4% identified as Black or African American. Historically, librarians were made up of mostly white females. And despite programs like the ALA Spectrum Initiative that provided entry points for racial minorities and other ethnicities, the proportion of librarians of Black, Indigenous, or people of color descent has remained relatively low. Research has shown that librarians have stated that toxic work environments were one of the reasons why a lot of their colleagues decided to leave the field. Across the nation in the last couple of decades, we have seen an influx of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives to try to fix systemic racism across various institutions, and libraries have been no different. However, research on the effect of these initiatives, like bias and inclusion trainings, have not been studied, especially in libraries. And while studies have started to emerge for the experiences of librarians of color in the academic sector as faculty or in community libraries, very few studies or none have been done about the public library. This project hopes to shed light on the experiences of Black female librarians in the public library sector and hopes that it will highlight the positive and negative effects of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives on toxic workplace environments. I am a Black cisgender female who is a children's specialist in a public library. My professional background has mostly included working in youth services with a focus on creating inclusive and accessible programming, while also wanting to maintain and implement an equitable and diverse collection. Through my MLIS coursework at the University of South Carolina, I have focused on building values and principles of a librarian with a lens towards social justice. After going through a mandatory equity, diversity, and inclusion training at my current job, and having negative experiences come out of it, I was very interested in the experiences of other Black female librarians in the public librarian sector to see if their experiences aligned with mine and if there was some commonality in the effect of DEI trainings. My identity as such pushes me towards a qualitative interviewing style because I know that this topic is very personal, nuanced, and carries a lot of risk for the women that I will be asking to be participants in this study. I hope to build a undercurrent of respect, commonality, and trust between me and the participants, because I do understand the risk of speaking out against injustices in a workspace that you may currently still be in. One way that I hope to give voice to the participants is to keep as much of their original wording as possible. In this way, I hope to not appropriate the voices of others, but keeping their words as intact as I can. Even implementing lengthy quotes from the participants and making sure that the language surrounding it is not misrepresenting their words or their experiences. Additionally, I hope to include the voices of others without colonizing them by creating an environment of commonality, making sure that the research itself speaks to a place of a collective work of Black female librarians, instead of othering them or objectifying them for the means of research. I hope that this project can truly be a illumination of their experiences in a respectful and trustworthy way. Lastly, this project will be a benefit to the participants because by illuminating the experiences of Black female librarians, we can attempt to highlight the real problems in public libraries so that Black female librarians that follow us do not experience the same work environments. And I hope to extend and increase the retention of Black librarians. Thank you for listening to my presentation.